Well, here I am. I'm back again. Today I am gonna do kind of like an unboxing video. I figured I might as well. As you can see, I have a craft beer making kit from Northern Brewer. This was a gift I got for my partner in crime here, who prefers beer over mead. So I thought maybe I'd branch out. I've never brewed beer before, just wine and mead. So I'm going to start out here just by opening this up just to see what is included. It's a small batch siphonless Kama Citra IPA kit. So I'll go ahead and put the link to this in the description below if anybody else is interested. I'm going to start off by just opening up this box, seeing what all is included in here, and then we're going to try to brew some beer. So this will be fun. I'm going to put this over here. Okay, so first thing we have here, is the instruction manual, which is great. Goes into priming, bottling, capping, cleanup, conditioning. Okay, well, I'm not going to read this whole thing because I will be reading it when I show us attempting to make beer. But it looks like pretty straightforward instructions. All right, we got our American Ale active brewing yeast. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Anyway, we got our yeast, which is great. Looks like we have a mesh sock or bag. Not sure what that's for, but maybe it's to put the ingredients in. We have premium Citra hops. Premium Cascade hop pellets. Northern Brewer fizz drops. So this must be what you put in to make it carbonated. I don't know. Not done the brew. Oh, and some more hops. Some more Cascade hop pellets. 7 grams of them. We have our grains. The Kama Citra small batch grains that are already measured out for us. We have, oh my gosh, we have even more hops. Centennial hop pellets. Ooh, there we go. Golden Light dried malt extract. I don't know why this is so intimidating to me, but mead and wine just seem less complicated, but we'll find out. And then we have our handcrafted brew labels that come with this. So that's awesome. Put all this back, make sure I don't lose it. Okay, it came with a bottling wand. Some tubing. What's in here? Ah, yes. Well, I have a corker, or whatever you call them. This is a capper, bottle capper. Got ourselves a nice little airlock. I have lots of those, but it's nice to have clean new ones. No rinse cleanser, so this is for sanitizing, which is great. And we got our caps. All right. Ready to start brewing. Now this, maybe the other ones were just quick instructions. Welcome to brewing. Gives a list of all the items that we got. Got some stickers and stuff. Whoa. We got a big poster with different products, and it says this isn't just a starter kit. It's much more than making beer. Anyway, this kind of gives an overview of what all the ingredients do. So that'll be good to have. Whoa, there's more. And our essential guide for new brewers. So, ooh, this is nice. This goes over all the ingredients, how to sanitize, what the brewing process is. Really nice. I figured a kit is a good way, at least for me, to get past whatever the fear is of making beer. Because here I am, and I'm going to do it. And the final item, this is our little Big Mouth Bubbler siphonless glass fermenter. So I'll be using this for my mead as well, most likely. But this is a great way to start. Okay, looks like we just got to put the spout on. This is 1.5 gallons, so you have room for your ingredients to make a gallon of brew. And yeah, top. I'm really excited. So next time you hear from me, which will be in like 2 seconds, I will be starting the brewing process. Hi, I am back and I have brewed the beer, but I wanted to go over the steps that are included in the box, which I showed when I did the unboxing. The best part about this kit, I mean, aside from everything being measured out for you, is that they have a list of instructions for when you brew and then a list of instructions for when it's time to bottle. And so I'm just kind of high level. I'm not going to read them in detail. I did record the process, so I wanted to just go by step what I did to make the beer. And I literally followed the steps exactly as they said to do them. So here's what we did. We put the Big Mouth Bubbler together and sanitized it, put the spout on, checked it to make sure it didn't leak, which is in the instructions, just so you don't have a big mess on your hands. And so the first thing that you do is you steep your grains. And so I put the grains over medium heat on the stove with a gallon of cold water. And I followed the instructions for that. And then once it starts to boil, you remove it from the heat. And that's when we stirred in the Golden Light DME. And you got to make sure that you don't have a bunch of foam. So you have to monitor the temperature for that, which I did. And that took, I don't know, you do that for 45 minutes and then you start adding the other ingredients. And they literally give it down step by step how long you need to keep the boil going before you add the next set of ingredients. And so we went ahead and added, once the 45 minutes had passed, we added the Centennial hops. Why am I saying we? Anyway, added that and then, continued to monitor for foam. After the next set of time went by, we added the Cascade hops. And then after another bit of time passed, we added the final set of hops, which is the Citra hops. This is the Karma Citra IPA that we're making. So anyway, you add the last hops, turn off the stove, cover it, set it aside, let it cool. I put it in the sink with cold water and ice as suggested to get it down to a temperature that the yeast will like. And like I said, I sanitized the Big Mouth Bubbler, so that was all ready to go. Once the wort was cooled off to a reasonable temperature for the yeast, I went ahead and poured it into the Big Mouth Bubbler. And I added water to bring it up to the gallon mark that I had. Oh, that was another thing they said to do, is to fill the Big Mouth Bubbler with a gallon of water and then put a little mark on it so you know where a gallon sits in the bubbler. So I added a little bit more water to fill it up to the full gallon. and then you pitch the yeast, and it came in a little packet. So we went ahead and pitched the yeast, and that's it. And then we sealed everything up. It came with a little, with an airlock and its own little bung that fits in there. Put that on there, and then I put it in my closet. Now, it did not start fermenting right away, and this is the first time I've made beer and used this particular kind of yeast, and I wasn't sure how long it should take, but what I ended up doing is I wrapped it up in a towel to warm it up a little bit because it's a little chilly in the closet where I keep my home brews, and I set it next to our heating vent, and that seemed to really get things going, and it really only bubbled for maybe 2 or 3 days, and then it was done. But I waited the full 2 weeks until I did the bottling, which is the next phase. So the next thing we did is we got all of our equipment together for bottling. There's tubing, there's the bottling wand, all the bottles, caps, and then the carbonation tablets that came in the kit. Let's see, what else do we need? Oh, fizz drops. They're called fizz drops. Made sure I sanitized everything. Everything was ready to go. I did have some issues with using, it's the first time I've used, this was the first time I've used a siphonless container. So I didn't use a siphon, and my counter in the kitchen, there's a raised level of counter, but it's only like a foot. And so that was not nearly enough to get the gravity to get the liquids out. So I had to go find some stuff and stack them up on there to get it up high enough. So you definitely want to make sure you have your big mouth bubbler up significantly higher than the bottles. And basically all I did was I attached the hose to the spigot on the big mouth bubbler. I attached the bottling wand to the bottom of the hose. And to loosen up the hose, you can also keep it in some warm water for a little bit, and that'll loosen up the rubber so it can, you can get a good seal on there and get it on there easily. And then I just let the spigot go, and it was kind of a mess for me because this, like I said, I didn't have it up high enough at first. But once it got going, I went ahead and just quickly bottled all the beer. I think I had about 8 or 9 beers. I think this was supposed to be for like a 12 pack, but I only ended up with 8 or 9 beers. What I forgot to do with the first couple beers is put in my fizz drops. So before bottling, you want to drop your fizz drop in the bottom of the bottle. And then, so what I should have done is put fizz drops in each bottle and then started bottling. But I took me a couple of bottles to realize I had forgotten the fizz drops. So put those in, got everything bottled. I had also sanitized the caps, and it's the first time using a capper, and that was really fun. So took the capper, placed the cap on top. The capper has a magnetic attachment on it, so it holds onto the cap. Squeezed it down and capped the beer. And then I put all the beers into a cooler, back up into my closet. I put them in a cooler because I just have a fear of things exploding. I thought maybe the cooler would help. So I left that in there to let the remaining sugar start to ferment so that the beer would be carbonated. And I waited another couple of weeks, and then it was ready to drink. So we put it in the fridge, and we'll be right back with a tasting video. See you in a second. All right, so we're finally here. It's been, I don't know, a couple months since I started the beer kit from Northern Brewing Company, and this is Karma Citra IPA that we started, and I'm curious to see how this is going to go because I'm making this for, I'm Katie, and this is my channel, Loud Creations, and this is Mr. Katie, and anyway, I actually got this beer making kit because I've been really, whatever reason, just resistant to making beer. And this is a beer lover over here, not so much a mead lover. So you'll drink it though, right? The
I'll
mead.
drink it, yeah. It's
Yeah.
good.
Anyway, so when we started this, it took a full day and a half for it to start fermenting, which with mead, I'm used to stuff going within pretty quickly. Then a few hours at maximum. And this took a while. And then it only fermented for like 2 days. Like it was only bubbling for 2 days. So I don't know what's going to happen here. This could be a disaster. I didn't do a great job of watching the temperature, which could be... and we put them in other beer bottles, so I'm just keeping the labels to ourselves. I didn't take a gravity reading, so I have no idea what the ABV is on this. There's nothing floating in there.
I'm just appreciating how much it looks like a beer.
Yes, it looks like a beer. So should we try to crack one? Do you want to do the honors?
I'll do the honors, okay. Yeah. I'm the beer expert here.
Ooh! It made it sound.
It's good. Ooh, the smoke or the mist and the bubbles. Oh. Wow.
Okay.
To be honest, I was a little bit worried that it wasn't going to be beer, but now I feel pretty good.
Whoa! Yay!
It's definitely fizzy. It's brown. It's still liquid. Wow, that's way fizzier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I had my doubts.
It's like a beer commercial.
Yeah, look at this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have to say this whole process was really, really, really easy. Northern Brewing made it or Brewer. Is it Brewer? Anyway.
Northern B.
They made it really, really simple. Before I recommend further.
Color-wise, it looks like a beer. It's not super clear, not super foggy, much like you would expect from an IPA.
There's a lot of bubbles coming up.
A lot of bubbles coming up, which makes me feel good about drinking this. So,
you ready?
I want to smell it.
Oh, this was it a Valentine's Day gift?
It smells very good. Is that
what I got this for you for?
Yes.
Yeah, so running this.
It smells very hoppy, very good. It's very citrusy.
Are you ready? Yeah.
Nothing about this is saying don't drink this. So
yay.
Let's try
okay.
It. Little chunk of something, but it tastes very good. I would say
a chunk of something?
It was a small chunk. It's okay.
Was it maybe so? We use the what are they called? The tablets, the sugar tablets to carbonate these. You just drop them into each bottle. And so it could have been just the remnants.
Well, if you're making something yourself and there's a chunk in there, that's
and it's
okay.
Not cold.
If it came from a factory and there's a chunk in there, I might not want to take another sip, but
this tastes like a beer to me.
It does. I would say it's maybe slightly less carbonated. It's definitely not flat. It's fizzy for sure.
Well, we are doing it a day and a half early.
Yeah, when you let it rest in your mouth, it's good. I would say this is pretty good. If we made a large batch of this, I would definitely drink it. I wouldn't say it's in any way it's not noticeably different from what you buy at the grocery store, other than at the grocery store it's maybe a bit more carbonated.
I think there's more depth of flavor, but it could just be that
No, it's pretty flavorful.
I'm trying to taste it, whereas I'm not a big beer drinker, so if I'm drinking beer, I'm not sitting around trying to make out all the flavors.
I would say it's maybe slightly watered down. It's like maybe if you took a grocery store beer and you poured a little bit of water in it, but I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
This is totally drinkable.
Yeah.
So
I'd say it's more than drinkable. I think it's
it
pretty
exceeds
good.
my expectations by a lot. I was honestly a little bit worried about the first batch. It's historically how they used to make water safe to drink. They made it into beer, so
there we go. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this if you are like me and think that beer making is like beyond the scope of something that you can do. because I really didn't do much different. Aside from when it wasn't fermenting, I wrapped up the container and I put it kind of closer to a heating vent just so that it got warmed up a little bit more. But I didn't check the temperature or anything, and it seems to have turned out. So,
Success.
success.
Yay. More beer for
All
me.
right. So I will put a link in the description to the kit that I bought, and now we're going to enjoy our homemade IPA. I hope this video was useful, and I will see you next time. Thank you.